All right. So somebody let me know if you guys can hear me. Awesome. So I guess we'll go ahead and kick this off. Morgan Rate Builder here. Obviously, my YouTube channel here. Thanks for everybody that's coming out to watch this live stream. I'll make sure it gets put into the page a little bit later. Sorry if everything looks a little messy. Hopefully all the lighting's pretty good. At least from what I can see from it, it looks pretty good. So that should be nice. Don't mind the extra couple of seconds here I'm going to take to do a couple other things here. You're trying. Yep, there we go. That's what I wanted. So get my live stream up there. We're on the background, so I can kind of see it. Like to get the live chat up there, but I don't think that's going to let me do it. Nope, not going to let me put it up there. Okay, well, I got live chat over here either way, so we'll go ahead and start this off. This is going to be a shipment day video along with an unboxing. This was the item that we're going to be working with tonight. Was kind of my Christmas present to myself. I ordered it back, I think in November. So it's been kind of a little bit of a wait for me to get it, but it was something I was really looking forward to and really wanted to get along to. So it's probably going to be the most complicated model I've ever built. So there's something there for me to look forward to and hopefully for you guys to look forward to. I do plan on at least live streaming some of the build. Hopefully by then I will have figured out how my live streaming works a little bit better and I can get everything worked out so we can get multiple cameras and everything with, you know, good lighting and all that. So we'll start off. This was by no means a cheap kit. Unfortunately, I'm not going to convert this for you, but if you're really curious, it was 2,300 HKD, so Hong Kong dollars. I did have to order this kit from China, which is not my favorite place to order kits from. I've had issues with it before, but reputable company makes a whole lot of a difference. So I will tell you off the air parcel shipping paper here, it's a 7.5 pound box. So probably at least a 6 pound model in it. I'm going to go ahead and pull the box back. We'll do the the shipment day part of it where I open the box, and then we'll do an actual unboxing of what's in it, which should be exciting for me and hopefully exciting for you guys as well. So we'll go ahead and get into that a little bit. Let me get the box back here. I'm not sure how much you guys can tell, but this box is absolutely huge. So it'll be a bit of a change. So once I get it cut open and get the actual other box out of it, and we get into that, the lighting should improve a little bit, and you guys will get a little bit more of a view on it. And then I'll also turn the camera down so you guys can see what I'm pulling out without me having to lift everything up in front of the camera. So go ahead, and this box has not been opened yet. I haven't opened it at all. So this is the beginning for me and the beginning for you guys on this one. So hopefully everything inside of it's in good condition, and we've got one heck of a good looking model in here. So I will tell you guys, this is not a Bandai kit. So if you were looking for some outrageously huge Bandai kit, what's in this box is not it. So let's see here. You guys might get a little bit of a view on it as I'm pulling it out, but either way, got that out, that box out of the way, and here you guys go. This is what you guys showed up for tonight. A Mechanicore GP02 Tyrannosaurus. And I went ahead and decided I was going to spend a little bit of extra money and got the premium version of it. So it's going to be an interesting build. I know there's a lot of people that have talked about Mechanicore kits in the past and having issues with them and fitting issues. That wasn't my worry when I ordered this kit. A lot of people had already been talking about Mechanicore kind of redoing their design functions on it and making sure that they did a better job molding all the pieces and all that stuff. So I guess the real test will be to find out if they did or not. But either way, I'm excited to build it. And if I've got to glue the whole thing together, I've got to glue the whole thing together. So it is what it is for that. I'm really hoping once we get into this box, it's going to be an awesome build. So we'll go ahead and get into it. Again, this box still got a good security seal on it that's never been broken. So we'll go ahead and cut the security seal and get into this box and see what's in there. I will tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the top of the box and show you guys what's just inside the top of the box, and then I'm going to set the box off to the side and slowly pull things out. So you guys can see a little bit of better view at what's on the back of the box. There it is. Oh, wrong way. Sorry. It's got some nice colored photos on the back of it. It is supposed to be a fully colored kit, which is good for me because I'm not too hot on painting something this big or this complicated. So we will open the front of this, and then we'll get into the box, see what's in there, and move to the next section of the video. Hopefully the camera's not shaking too bad as I'm doing this. But inside, we have two more boxes. We've got box A and box B. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this off to the side. Pull them out one box at a time. We'll go through what's in them. And then we'll go kind of into how my feelings about this kit are just from seeing what's in the box. And, you know, see where the video goes. So we will go ahead and start off with box A. So let me get a drink over here so I can keep myself from going too thirsty. We will go ahead and cut the seal on this box, being as this has another seal on it. almost don't want to cut the seal as it looks really nice, but I really want into the box, so we're going to cut it anyways. Kind of a, okay, I see why the seal's not cutting right. People in putting tabs into these things, you have to open up. There we go. Actually, before I even open the box, we'll take a look at what's on that seal. Again, it's a really nice looking seal. The top's just kind of says model number, full hatch opened, the scale, which is a 172, which should be a little different for me. I'm used to the Bandai scales for pretty much everything. And then set A, but the side of it's got what looks to be a very, very nice picture of one of the boosters off the side of it. Sorry about the glare. I'm still kind of working on my lighting, so there we go. Much better. So, you know, nice looking booster off the seal for the box, and we'll get into this thing. Yeah, Rat Pack Perfect Xeon. I'm not sure I quite want to go that far. Sorry if I'm a little bit slow on getting back to you guys, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm kind of trying to pay attention to what's going on in the chat feed, but not the greatest. So we'll get into this box and see what's in here. First riser off. Got some orange in here. Looks like mostly detail parts, booster covers and vents, some extra other detail stuff in here. So, well, I guess I'm going to have to hold them up anyway, so you guys can kind of see them a little bit better. So, got that one. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the camera down some so you guys have a better view of what's on the table, and I don't have to pick them up so much, and hopefully it'll eliminate some of the glare. So next riser up is pretty much the exact same thing. Another set of the booster covers and vents, and some more accessory cover pieces in there. So I will warn you, this is probably going to be a long video because there are, I guess, about 2,700 pieces in this kit. So next riser out, and there are 4 of this one, so I'm only going to go through one of them. Looks like internal framing, maybe the bottom of some boosters, a couple other things. I'm not entirely sure what this cage is. It's probably, my guess would be for the shield, so it might be internal framework for the shield. So next out, we've got, looks like some leg pieces and some more framework on this riser. And looks like we got another one of those. So 2 of that riser. And another 2 of a riser. So this riser looks like it's got more framework on it. Some more possible shield frame. That looks like a leg joint. So some nice detailed parts in here. I mean, everything I've looked at so far has been super highly detailed. So that's kind of it's kind of nice for me. Gives me a good idea of, you know, how much extra stuff I'm going to have to do for this. Doesn't look like I'm going to have to do any scribing, which will be absolutely awesome because I've never tried it, and I'm not terribly interested in trying it anytime soon. So next riser up is, again, more gray. Looks like more framework. A couple of pieces in here that are definitely some larger pieces. So once we get into somewhere, I'll pull out some more stuff for you guys so you can see really a little bit more of how detailed these pieces really are. I'm not sure it does it a whole lot of justice looking at it through the plastic. So maybe I'll pull out a couple of the risers out of box B and we'll get into that. So this appears to be most of the parts for a stand for this kit, which I didn't even remember it having a stand. So, but this looks like these two and these two at least pieces for a stand. So that'll be nice. We got a stand to go with it. Wow, box is like unlimited risers, and this is still only the first of two boxes. So next riser up has more framework stuff. Looks like probably stuff for the shield, some of the internal framework for some parts of the body, a couple more shield pieces, and again, there's two of that riser. So next riser up looks like it's going to have maybe a connection point for the shield, and again, an entire riser full of internal framework, a lot of little gimmicky parts. So hopefully they did a good job with getting those to stay in a little bit better so I don't have to glue them all. Moving on from that, we've got, new color, dark gray. So this looks like it's got a couple of pieces for possibly the bazooka on it. And then some more pieces for the bazooka. Maybe a couple of accent pieces for the shield. I have no idea what the rest of this stuff is. Next riser up, that looks like it's the centerpiece for the shield, where the connection points are going to go at for the handle and things like that. More pieces for possibly the frame or inside of the shield. Again, all like very, very highly detailed. And like I said, I will pull a couple of these out for you guys at the end of the video so you can see all the detail on it. Yeah, Rat Pack, it is a lot of parts, and even going through this stuff, we're not even remotely close to halfway through these risers. So this riser looks like it's got a whole bunch more parts for the bazooka and possibly one of the beam rifles on it. It's kind of what those are looking like. So lots of detailed parts again. We still have like 10, maybe about 4 or 5 more risers in this box. So this is all going to be inside detailing, inside framework. So a couple of little tube pieces here that look like they'll be used for something fun. Looks like some more joint pieces. And there's a second one of that riser. And then the next set of risers in here, we've got some really, really nice chrome riser with some verniers and a whole lot of accenting parts. And I mean a whole lot of accenting parts that are chrome. They are, I don't even know if I want to call that, it's a more almost like a, yeah, I guess it's still chrome. So, I mean, they look very nice though. So far, those are not undergated. It did look like most of the parts going through this were undergated, which is going to be really, really nice for the build. So, and then the last thing in that box is a thing of metal pieces and LEDs and a whole bunch of screws. So, along with an Allen key that I'm guessing I need to use for something. So, but there are a ton of LEDs in this box, so I will be running LEDs throughout this entire model, I guess. It does look like it may have come with batteries, though I'm not sure. Nope, those aren't batteries. So, but I mean, obviously, I'll find some batteries for it so I can power it up once it's finally finished and get that going. So let me get these back in the box here. And we'll get into box B. And then, like I said, at the end of box B, I will I'll open up a couple of the bags so you guys can kind of see what some of the riser pieces look like and how detailed they really are, because what I'm seeing is incredibly, incredibly detailed. Even more so than I was actually anticipating to begin with, which is really kind of a nice thing. So Box A is closed back up. Box B out over here. Box A back in here. Is that sitting in the bottom? Oh, just a piece of cardboard. All right, so let's see if we can't open up box B here. I will tell you guys on the side of this one is the same thing that was on the side of the other one. It's just another one of its boosters off the back, so I'm not gonna take the time to really show that off like I did the other one. Yeah, Spicer, they are some outrageously huge boxes. So it's gonna be a crazy build. Okay, back this over to the side and see what's in here. First thing I'm seeing is a big old pack of directions along with some metal detail parts. So I think we'll leave that towards the end and we'll get into the risers instead. First thing up, 4 really, really, really large beam sabers. I'm pretty sure these are bigger than the beam sabers for either of my PGs. So looking at that, that tells me this model is probably going to be larger than either of my perfect grades. So if you're sitting on a unicorn or a Mark II, plan on this model being bigger. Next thing up, we got 2 different colored risers in here. We got some clear green with some really nice looking effect parts in it. And then we've got a red riser with a lot of the accenting for red on it. So, I mean, that should look really, really nice once it's on. Should really make things stick out. So, oh man, this box is just all kinds of crazy packed. Next thing up, we got here some, looks like parts for the hands. All individual fingers. And they appear to be jointed. Kind of like a perfect grade, except these ones aren't pre-assembled on a riser. So have to assemble the perfect grade style hands from scratch outside of putting the fingers together. So that should be an interesting task. The next one up is 2 very, very large polycap risers. And there's a good chunk of polycaps on each one of them. So that's good to see. I do like polycaps to make things spin and turn really well. So the next setup, there are 2 risers in here. Looks like another almost like a polycap riser with some, and even these parts have like crazy detail drilled into them. So, and then on the back side, there's a small clear yellow riser with, it looks like a couple of effect parts on that. Next up, looks like some of the outside body paneling. Finally, we've gotten into a little bit more of the color rather than just the monochrome grays. So looks like we're getting into the outside armor paneling and all that. So these are probably a couple of side skirts. These are most likely on the legs. That looks like probably part of the backpack. So, but this looks like it's going to be one heck of a crazy build. All right, next thing up, we've got a couple more LEDs, along with some parts of what looks to possibly be the riser for the, or at least one of the risers for the extra gun that I got by ordering the premium. So that should be interesting. It'll be kind of cool to have that extra gun in there. So, see, next thing up here, we gotta have a solid black riser, and I mean solid black. So this is, looks like tubing sets for details around probably the ankles or the knees, possibly the elbows. So that's pretty much that complete riser. Next up, we've got some white, and this looks like it might be the other riser for that whiter tan. And it's kind of hard to tell with the lighting I've got in here, unfortunately, but should be the rest of the parts, or at least another riser of the parts for that extra rifle that this one comes with. Next up, we got a very large whitish tan. Triton, they're probably in B just because there was more room in the top of the box, I think. So looks like this is all detail parts. Most of it looks like it's for the shield, so I'm pretty sure at least these 4 large pieces are all, and actually most of this all looks like it's going to go for detailing on the outside of the shield. So it does look interesting. It looks like it's got some slots in here, so I'm guessing it's going to have some peek through from a rear panel for some extra nice coloring accent on that. And there's another one of those risers, so we got 2 of that one. And the next riser up is kind of looks like almost like a monochrome gray. Different than the rest of it, though. It looks like it might be kind of the inside of a lot of the armor panels. So this will be the back side of most of the armor panels, it looks like, and some detail parts, maybe some outlying parts for some of the vents. So, and there's 2 of that riser. Next one up, we're back into some of the white, and this looks like it's just going to be a full riser of outside armor, and yeah, really just a full riser of outside armor. Looks like the bottom to some of the verniers. So I'm pretty sure inside that bag of metal detail parts are the center pieces for the verniers, and again, we've got 2 of that riser. So we should have some good detail on that. Here is a very, very definitely large piece for a stand. So there's definitely a stand in this, which makes me really happy. My unicorn stand is great. I really wish my Mark II had a stand, as it's already fallen over once. So we'll figure that out at some point. Next riser up is going to be the main part of the shield. And this thing is going to be huge. So not sure if this is going to be able to hold the shield up in the hand, or if it's going to have to rest on the ground like the master grade version of the kit did. So hopefully this one will have stiff enough joints to hold the shield up, but still loose enough that I can kind of do some posing with it. Next riser up is back to gray, and this looks like it's all going to be internal pieces. Again, crazy, crazy detail on these things. So I will open up a bag or 2 at the end and really put a couple of the risers up close to the camera so you guys can see how intricate they went on molding this kit. I promise we're getting close to the bottom. The next one up is a pair of this riser. So there's 2 of them. Looks like a couple of the pieces have snapped loose, but look like they're still in good shape. So we've got a two whole huge sheets of red accent pieces. And they are, again, detailed like crazy. I'm not entirely sure where most of them are going to go yet. So I guess we'll see together on that one. The next thing up, and I'm kind of running out of room on the table here, guys. Sorry. Let me figure something out here real quick. Get that up a little bit. Slide this one off to the side so it's semi out of the way. Get a drink because my throat's getting dry. And back into this. So Next set of risers, there's 2 of this one as well. Looks like more outside armor and accenting parts. So it looks like a couple of jointed parts over here for some movement on something, and the rest of it literally just looks like outside armor pieces for random spots throughout. Looks like 2 more risers in this box, and then we'll go back and into the direction book and all that. This is the only riser in this color. We do have a nice blue riser for some of the blue accent parts on this GP02, so that should be kind of a cool thing. I always did like A, this model, and B, the color set for the original Gundams, which has always been white, red, and blue. So the last actual riser in here is back into the white, and it's looks like at least a few of the pieces for the open panel area. This thing is supposed to have a ridiculous amount of panels that will open on it, so that's pretty awesome on that for me. So that makes me feel pretty good that if I'm going to spend a whole ridiculous amount of time building this kit along with the price of the kit to begin with, it's nice that it's got a whole lot of gimmicks on it. Makes me happy. And the last thing in this box is the base for the stand, which is absolutely huge. So it's going to be interesting to find a place to display this once I finally get it built and panel lined and all that, but I'm sure I'll find somewhere. So let me get the parts back into the box, with the exception of a couple of the risers. Like I said, I'll keep a couple of them out so I can open a couple of the bags and really show you guys how detailed they went into on this kit. So I think what I'll do is I'll open probably that bag, which is part of the rifle. Let me pull another riser back out of here so you guys can see a little bit more of the detail on one of the other colors as well. Now, it might be 2 of the same color, because looks like that's most of what's in the top of the box right now. So let me open up a couple of these. I'll put them up nice and close to the camera so you guys can see how much into detail Mechanicore went with this. I know their kits have always been famous for that, but I've never built one before, so it's kind of interesting for me to see how crazy they've gone into the detail. I mean, let's see if this thing will focus like it's supposed to. All kinds of dips and crevices in all the parts. Come on, refocus. Probably doesn't help that I'm a little shaky. Back it up a little bit and see if it focuses. Looks like it might be coming into focus a little bit. It might just be because of the glare from the light. So, but I can't turn the light off because then there won't be any light. But I mean, there's nice deep grooves in throughout here, which would be good for maybe some colors for some panel line. I mean, there's just small grooves everywhere for panel lining, and I mean, I guess painting if you really want to paint on a kit that costs this much money, but I don't think I'm willing to do that. But give me a second here to get this one back in the bag, and I'll open up this other bag so you guys can... Actually, I'm not going to open this one. I'm going to open one of these darker ones and hope that some of the lighting comes through a little bit better on the dark. So we'll open this one. By the way, the plastic on these bags is way thicker than it is on the Bandai kits. So that's probably nice. It's a little extra protection for the parts. So that will be interesting. This looks like it's going to have the same kind of gimmicky little thing that my Mark II had, where you kind of have to build the battery compartment and then put batteries into it. So let's see if this will focus up and let you guys see some more of the detail on how absolutely astounding they did on this. So everything is deep cut. All of the spots throughout the riser are cut deep, plenty deep enough for panel lining to sit in without having too much issue. Quit focusing on me. Focus on the model riser. So doesn't look like it's out. There it goes. It's now showing it. There's some nice deep grooves cut into the, looks like, outside part of the barrel right through here, and they absolutely make this thing jump. So nice deep grooves all the way up here, and pretty much every part that I looked at closely as I was doing this had plenty of spots for panel lines and everything else that you could ever want to do to this model. I could not imagine needing to scribe extra panel lines into anything on this if you're big into scribing. So I'll put this back in here. We'll get the rest of the parts back in the box, and we'll get into looking through the directions. So okay, this crazy huge direction booklet here. Just go ahead and pull everything out. Set that off to the side because it's all going to go back in there for now. So first thing up is the nice detailed little metal cut pieces that should fit in nicely and show some detail. Looks like all the verniers have their own internal pieces along with a lot of the vent parts. So that should be absolutely awesome to look at once it's all put together. The next thing we have up is, looks like, the directions for building the extra beam rifle that comes with the premium version. I will tell you, everywhere I've looked online now, except for eBay, is completely out of the premium version. And I'm not entirely sure Mechanicore is going to produce anymore. So if you didn't get in on getting one of those, you might not at this point. So the good news is it does tell me what batteries I need. So I will, if I don't have them already, I'll go ahead and get those on order before I get the kit finished so I can put them in as I go. This is literally nothing more than directions and how to wire up the rifle. So it should be crazy interesting. I'm not used to having this many LEDs in a kit by any means. I did put the LED kit in my Perfect Grade Unicorn, but that was like super simple to do. So this should be awesome once it's finished. And it's a nice little added bonus for deciding I was going to spend a couple of extra dollars between the regular version and the premium version when I ordered it. The next thing up is a monstrous sheet of water slides. So it does make me happy they gave me water slides with it instead of giving me just regular decals. I think water slides, since I've started getting into them, I love the way they look. I think they look better than just your standard decals, and they end up even looking better than the dry rub decals. So about 95% of the bottom half of that sheet probably still won't go on, just because I detest doing those little tiny water slide decals all over the place. So we'll kind of take a look here at the direction booklet. So very, very nice cover art. It looks phenomenal. So assemblies and instruction right there in the front, 1/72 scale. it's just going to be an absolute beast to build, though. This instruction booklet, I don't know if you guys could see it, but is crazy thick. So, you know, lots of pages, and I'll give you guys a page count here at the end. But I'll pull up the back of it so you guys can see that as well. It's got a very nice piece of, very nice shot of the back of it as well, which is kind of a nice, nice touch for them. So, along with the fact that it looks like everything, at least on the front and the back, is written in both Chinese and English. So I'm hoping inside the booklet is the same way. So as usual, we've got some, looks like, product recommendations, LEDs provided. Looks like it's printed on recycled paper, recycled plastic. Oh, they want you to recycle the paper and plastic bags, and as usual, choking hazard warning. So then it gets into a riser list. So list of all the risers that are in this, along with the 2 specifically for the extra beam rifle, and they are called out in red. I guess denoting that if you don't have this plastic runner is exclusively available to the solid color premium limited version, right down there at the bottom. So if you don't have the premium version, you won't get those 2 risers. But it just, I mean, we've got at least 3 full pages, a couple of risers up here at the top, and then all the rest of the metal pieces and everything else that goes with it. And then also a thing stating extra parts that come with only the premium version. So it looks like USB cable is not provided. Recommended length is 1 to 1.5 meters. It does have a couple of white stickers. This is the little metal photo etching part, diagram of that. And then diagram of the water slides and the assembly manual. I'm not going to go through all of this. I'm just going to kind of flip through it quickly just because it's an absolute monster. I mean, the directions don't even start until page 9. So hopefully this is focusing in on it. Head, looks like just the top of the body, though this thing's got a really small body. So there's the next starting of the next set of the body, and it does have a diagram for wiring in the LEDs as you go, which is really nice. Looks like that's probably either the waist or the backpack. We get into the crotch area, into some of the front skirts, which that's got an opening gimmick. You can even see it kind of there in the picture by the color distortion. And it literally gives you a color picture of everything you're building. 1-to-1 color picture, everything you're building. So moving into the arm up here, or at least one of the 2 arms, doesn't have that in English. Looking through these pages, telling you what you're actually building is not in English. However, all of this stuff is in good taste. It looks like the runners are numbered instead of lettered, which I'm not terribly surprised with as many as are there. So going into joints and parts of the legs, we'll flip through this a little bit quicker, just because I think we're already quite a ways into this stream. So I mean, a lot of people are talking about Sazabi and Sinanju being thick-legged. I believe this is probably the thickest boy out there. So going into the boosters on the back, those are also LED wired up. And it looks like there's an LED in pretty much every single one of the verniers on it, which it's going to absolutely look awesome once it's built and all lit up. So hopefully I won't have any issues with running the cables for that. Centerpiece of the backpack. The shield itself is obviously its own step. I'm not seeing LEDs in the shield yet, which I can't say I'm terribly surprised. I'm not really sure why you would put LEDs in the shield, even though it would look pretty cool to have it lit up. But again, it's not that big of a deal. There's its bazooka, and that does have LEDs wired into it. So looks like actually quite a few spots where it's got LEDs wired into it. So then you come down, looking, it does have a very nice looking stand. Again, it does say the USB cord is not included. It looks like it's just a micro USB cable. So if I don't have one lying around, they're about a dime a dozen anywhere you could ever possibly want to buy one. So it goes through building the stand, and it looks like the stand actually holds the shield up. It's got its own arm specifically for holding the shield up, which is really actually kind of entertaining. So it does look like it's got directions here for connecting all the LEDs. So that's kind of a good thing there. By the way, if you haven't been able to see down at the bottom, we are currently on page 51 and 52 of this manual. So there's that. Looks like the assembly stops at page 53. But then we go into decals for the model. So there's going to be a lot of decals. It's going to take me a long time to do all those. It's just going to be absolutely crazy to get this thing all put together and going. I'm crazy excited to start on it. However, there is a side note about me starting on it. As much as I would like to start on this tonight or tomorrow, unfortunately, I kind of committed myself to something else this weekend. I will probably not be doing much building, if any at all, this weekend, due to the fact that the new Ace Combat game is coming out, and I'm pretty much going to dedicate this weekend to that. And then I will most likely start building this kit sometime next week, time permitting with work and all that. But I do plan on trying to stream a good chunk of this build. So be on the lookout for streams for that. Like I said, I will work on getting my setup working right for both cameras, and we can figure that out from there. So tilt this back up a little bit. There we go. So guys, thanks for coming out, supporting today. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button down below. Hit the like button. I do really appreciate all of you guys coming out. I appreciate the support that I get from Gunpla community, along with some of my buddies that just randomly watch me. So thanks for coming out, guys, and I guess we'll see you at the next stream.